Greetings, resilient, passionate, intense Scorpio. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot card reader, and now I am going to do the December 2020 forecast for the sign of Scorpio. I am going to start with a tarot reading in the first half of the video, and in the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about broad strokes of some of the planetary transits. And I encourage you to follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole, because there I will go into more details about the transits as they are unfolding and continue the conversation that I start here. But in the meantime and in between time, I think it's really great to watch the videos for your sun and for your rising sign to get a broad overview of what to expect in the coming month. And as we enter the month of December, Scorpio, you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed, this can be a man who is behaving in an impractical or irresponsible way. And the Ace of Swords is reversed, covering you. And so the Ace of Swords reversed, it can have to do with somebody holding their tongue about something, or holding back on a new idea, or holding back on words that they want to say at this time. And you are also covered by the Ace of Wands, or crossed by the Ace of Wands. So this is your tikkun. With the Kabbalists, it's your karmic correction. And so this is about a new start. This is the hand of God giving you, making an offer for you. It could be in the realm of career and enterprise. It could just be in the form of inspiration of some sort. But it is, it's a time to take action in December. And the basis of the situation, the Magician reverse. So this has to do with a man who is feeling insecure, maybe having some self-doubt. He can feel emasculated, or maybe even, this can come up for a man who's impotent, or, doesn't know the tools to use, things like that. What's leaving is the Two of Cups, a relationship. What could come into being is the Six of Pentacles. This is an award or distribution of some kind around mid-month, a contract or negotiation. Fears or insecurities, the Six of Wands reversed. So this is about defeat, feeling, I'm sorry. This is what will come into being. And around mid-month, this is maybe you are halting in moving forward with something. You may be feeling temporarily defeated, but you've only lost the battle. You have not lost the war. And fears or insecurities, the Page of Cups reversed. So this is around, for those of you who have children, it could be around a child and hurt feelings, or a child that's feeling vulnerable somehow. For those who don't have children, this could be fears or insecurities about being creatively blocked, or about the beginning of a new love situation, or something like that. Others see you. Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is experiencing pain, the pain of loss or separation. And it could be somebody who's feeling pain from being separated from you. Positive feelings, the Six of Swords reverse. So it looks like you feel very positive about moving from a choppy emotional state to a more serene emotional state by the end of the month. And it looks like you were turning around old ideas that you had, and you were finding some peace and serenity in that. You were moving away from choppy times towards calmer times. And for some, this could be someone, you feel very positive about someone who's returning from a trip or a journey. And then the outcome is the King of Swords. And at the end of the month, this is a card that's about mastery. And it's swords in the realm of thoughts and words and ideas. It can be your own mastery, but as it's the King of Swords, it can also represent a man who's outside of yourself, who is an honest and forthright man who is playing prominently into the end of December for you. And so that is the tarot overview for Scorpio for the month of December. And now I'm going to talk about some of the planetary transits. There's an eclipse happening the last day of November, and that is in Gemini. So it's in your 8th house. And so there's going to be a solar eclipse happening December 14th. And so this lunar and solar eclipse are a pair. This is happening on your 2nd house, 8th house axis. The lunar eclipse is going to be in your 8th house. The solar eclipse is going to be in your 2nd house. This is the beginning of a story that will be unfolding over the next year and a half. And so 8th house issues have to do with other people's money. It can have to do with your spouse's money. It can also have to do with wills or inheritances or settlements, alimony, debt. The 8th house also has to do with spiritual debts that we have towards people. It has to do with the unseen. It has to do with the occult. It has to do with mysteries. It has to do with investigations. It also has to do with things like sex and death and rebirth and regeneration and transformation. So it's a very deep house that works on very many levels. That's why it's a great time for Scorpio to get a reading, to learn more about this eclipse story that will be unfolding for you in the next year and a half. And then December 14th, I will talk a little bit more about later in the video, but that is unfolding in your 2nd house, which has to do with your money and resources. So where the 8th house is your partner's money and resources, or others, in some cases your parents' money and resources, or in whatever case, other people's money and resources, the 2nd house is your money and resources. And so, during this eclipse, there's a letting go, there's a culmination, and there's a new beginning in these areas of your life. Let me move on. December 1st, Mercury is entering Sagittarius, and it will be entering your house, your 2nd house. So the 2nd house is a really important house for Scorpio during Sagittarius season. Again, it's all about money, resources. It can be about food. It can also be about values and self-esteem. As Mercury moves into this sign, Mercury in Sagittarius is about the big picture. It's about the big vision. It's not the best time for detail-oriented thinking or work, but it is good time for long-range goals and, again, big picture thinking. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, it's optimistic, it's faithful, and it's positive. And so these are good things. The shadow side is that there can be gullibility in this area, and there can also be embellishment, people who are telling tall tales in this area. So as it's in your money houses, just to be something to be aware of. So that aspect is happening December 1st through December 20th. December 7th, Pallas Athene is moving to Aquarius. As Pallas Athene moves into Aquarius, it's moving into your house of home, the 4th house. Pallas Athene in Aquarius is very, this is a genius aspect. It's an aspect where you are going to be having great strategy and foresight and vision into the future around your home, around legacy, real estate, wealth, roots, ancestors, all of these 4th house things. And the 4th house is going to be very significant to you coming up in this new era that we're entering. And so, I encourage you to have a reading. This is probably one of the best times in our whole entire lifetime to have a reading and to have an understanding of your chart and the energies that are at work. So Palace Athene will be in your fourth house from December 7th through March 7th. And for the collective, this is very exciting because great minds are going to be stimulated into really innovative, futuristic, scientific thinking and out of the box thinking and recognizing patterns that are going to, and strategies to benefit progress and the greater good. And so I just love that Palace Athene is coming here at this time because we need it, and it's happening. And so December 14th is the new moon in Sagittarius. Again, this is taking place in your second house. And so if you follow me, you know that new moons are incredibly rich and creative, fertile soil to plant the seeds of intention that we want to manifest. And a solar eclipse new moon is like a new moon on steroids. It's like a turbo new moon. And so this is a really important new moon to do a ritual. And if you want to be on my altar, contact me. I have room for a handful of clients on my altar every month. But it's also something you can do at home, with candles and flowers and bringing together the elements on your altar. You want to have fire and earth and air and water and your pictures of the ancestors and your spirit guides, and very powerful time for setting the intentions that you want to manifest. And second house is around money, resources, food. It's also around values, and it's around your self-esteem. But it's also these Sagittarian themes, which are travel, exploration, cross-cultural experiences, publishing and broadcasting where that's applicable, higher education where that's applicable, spirituality, religion, higher truth, God. So there's all these really beautiful, philosophy. There's these beautiful, important themes for you to be setting intentions around during this new moon. Also, December 15th, Venus moves into Sagittarius, and that's also in your second house. So this is bringing a lot of light and attention for you around, this is about what you value. You might actually be, like doing appraisals on, your possessions or valuables while Venus is traveling through your second house. You might be making a luxury item purchase or some like really big ticket item purchase that's going to bring you a lot of joy and pleasure while Venus is moving through that second house. And Venus will be there from December 15th through January 8th. December 15th, Chiron is stationing direct in Aries, and Chiron is the direct in Aries. So this is happening in your sixth house of health. So this is definitely an important time to, get a checkup, make sure you're up to date on all of your, yearly health routine things. Also good time to make sure you are eating really healthy, getting plenty of sleep, drinking plenty of water, that you are exercising every day. It's very important to pay attention to your physical health with Chiron transiting your sixth house, but also when it's stationing direct, it could stir up something that needs to be healed, which is a good thing. But at the same time, we just want to be mindful of that so we can recognize it and address it in a quick way. Chiron, for some people, if you are a healer or a therapist or a doctor or anything like that, it could just mean that, your daily routine is really picking up or changing, or, your clients are more demanding or in more need. And if you're a person who's dealing with an injury, this could be a time where, the healing is going to start picking up in a more rapid way as Chiron starts to move forward. And so there's a lot of different ways Chiron can express itself. For different Scorpios, it's going to be different. Chiron is the healer, Chiron is the wounded, and then Chiron is also the person who does the wounding. And so different people fall in different places in that triad depending on what's going on in your chart. But in general, Chiron is going to be a major player on the stage of 2021, I think, and I'm going to talk more about that in my 2021 year overview videos. I have 2 more sets of videos coming out before the year is over. I'm going to do 2021 year overviews for all of the sign, and I'm going to do January 2021 overviews for the sign. So look out for those videos coming up, but in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to keep going. December 16th, Saturn moves into Aquarius. Saturn moving into Aquarius is moving into your 4th house of home. This is a 2.5-year transit. So Saturn has been in your 3rd house of communication since December 2017. It's moving into the 4th house of home. Saturn is the planet, he's the great disciplinarian of the chart. So whichever house he moves into, we can be sure that we are going to be taking on more responsibilities, more obligations, more commitments, having to face reality, having to observe and establish proper boundaries, where we're going to have to work hard and be disciplined. For you, that is in the house of home. This is a great time to get a reading because this is going to be happening from from December 16th to March 2023. So this is a significant transit that will have many different stages as it unfolds, and there's a real learning arc and story here for you that would be great to understand through a reading with an astrologer, me. Anyway, also December 18th, Juno is moving into Sagittarius. Now this is a very significant aspect for married couples mainly. As Juno moves into Sagittarius, it's moving into your 2nd house. This might be a time where you are reestablishing new, theoretical aspirations around what the values are of your relationship with your spouse. Venus and Sagittarius in general can be a time, Venus and Sagittarius is part of it, that's relationship energy, but Juno and Sagittarius can be a time where, for the collective, we are changing our ideal vision of what the ideal relationship is. And for people who are already married, it could be that you are setting new theoretical ideals for your relationship. It could be also, with this transit, it could be that you are planning, setting a bigger vision, planning some traveling things, planning some spiritual or religious things together. It could be a number of things, and so I don't want to get too caught up in it, but that's why, these are the broad strokes, and I can offer more specifics in one-on-one relationship or one-on-one readings. But in general, yeah, I'm going to keep it moving. Jupiter moves into Aquarius on December 19th. Jupiter in Aquarius will be moving into your 4th house of home. So this is expansion around the home. This is grace and good fortune around the area of home. This is beautiful because Jupiter is coming out of its detriment where it's been traveling in your 3rd house of communication for the past year, and it will be like a breath of fresh air of this area in your life when Jupiter enters. And Jupiter will be there for a year, and I'm going to talk about the Jupiter-Saturn relationship a little bit more coming up, but I want you to understand them both individually as well because the timing is different. Jupiter's there a year, Saturn's there 2.5 years. So Jupiter's there getting Saturn started there, but Saturn continues as Jupiter moves on to Pisces. Anyway, December 20th, Mercury moves into Capricorn. When Mercury moves into Capricorn, it is moving into your 3rd house of communication. So there's going to be some very practical business kind of communication that will be taking place during this time. It's a time of very realistic, pragmatic, disciplined thinking. It's a time of being discerning and frugal with words, straight to the point, no bullshit. And it's a great time for writing a business plan for 2021, or at least starting your business plan and writing it over this, next little bit of time between Mercury entering Capricorn and the Capricorn new moon in January. But yeah, so it'll be there through January 8th, and then the new moon will follow, which is I'll talk more about in the next set of videos. But December 21st, the sun moves into Capricorn. Again, as the sun journeys through Capricorn, December 21st through January 19th, it will be illuminating your house of communication. And so, the third house is messages, it's writing, it's media, it's blogs, it's podcasts, but it's also your neighborhood sometimes. It can also be your siblings sometimes. It can be short trips. So there's a lot of different things that the third house can be, and it can illuminate all of those issues while it's traveling through there, or just one. It depends on the person in the chart. Now, December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn are forming the Great Conjunction, and this is one of the biggest astrological moments of our lifetime, and certainly of this year. This is the clear beginning of a new 20-year chapter and the end of another chapter. For humanity, it's the beginning of a new 200-year air cycle. We've been in a 200-year earth cycle, and so, that's been one of the things of 2020. We've been in this kind of transmutation between this earth phase and this air phase that we're entering, and I don't want to keep going too much into that, but I would love for you to contact me for a reading, and I can talk to you more about what that means and what it means in your chart and what this new 20-year chapter is for you, because it's also kicking off a new 200-year chapter. So there's a whole bigger soul journey level to this moment as well. Great time for a reading. Probably one of the best times in my lifetime, in our lifetime. Yeah, that is happening December 21st at the winter solstice. So the sun moves into Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn form the Great Conjunction, and a new era is born. And December 29th is the full moon in Cancer, and that is happening in your 9th house. And that is the house of God. That is the house of higher truth. That is the house of higher education, religion, travel, exploration, cross-cultural experiences. It can be broadcasting, it can be publishing. It's the higher mind. Did I mention it's university level education? So full moons illuminate. So those topics will be illuminated at the end of the year. Also, it's the Cancer, full moon. So it's just about, I think, being cozy, being with family. It's very emotional, it's very highly sensitive, it's very intuitive, it's very psychic. That would be a great time, actually, under that moon to get a reading, because it's a very psychic full moon. And that is the overview for Scorpio for the month of December. If you like this video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a don't like. Please share this video with other Scorpios. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have not already, please hit the notification button so that you're notified when I post new videos. Did I say share this with other Scorpios already? I may have. Anyway, follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. There I will continue the conversation I started there. I post about the daily transits in my stories, and then I post more about the planetary ingresses and the new and full moon in greater detail there to, again, continue the conversation we started here. And thank you for joining me. Astrology is my great love in life, and I love to share it with others. So thank you for letting me share it with you. Thank you for listening, and please have a wonderful December, Scorpio.